So in this quick tutorial, we're going to talk about a game clock that can basically keep track of how long your player has been playing in the game and how you can basically expose that to the UI through printing it on the screen. So to begin, what I'm going to go is to my entity section and default flow graph entity. We'll snap that into place and we'll call this one game clock underscore FG. So I'm going to take my flow graph and snap it into the middle here. We'll go directly in. The first thing I need is to press Q, and I'm going to type in time and then time again, because we're actually after the amount of time that we've been in. And you'll notice that we have seconds. And this is actually what we want to trigger or output. So I'm going to go to Q and floor so we can round it to the base. So if we go here, we can turn on debugging and we can see that we have 2,715. So in this regard, I've been inside of the editor for quite some time, and that's why my number may be higher than yours. So what we need to do is we need to take this value and we actually need to divide it by 60 to get our minutes. So we're going to go to Q math div, and we're going to divide it by 60 as said. And then we will take another floor as our output. So now we can see that we have 45.95 as the floor, so it should be outputting just to 46. So that would be the minutes. Now we need to consider about how do we take care of seconds. And with that, we usually use what's called a modulus, which is a remainder operator. So in that regard, we'll go to Q math mod, and this is going to take the remainder when we take 60 on this and divide it together. So we'll output this here, and then we'll take another floor, so we'll be able to drop it to the bottom. And now we have two values right here, to which we can output to, say, a string. So we'll do concat, and we can take both of these. So we can just push that into the set, push that there, push that there. So now we have 46, 56, 57, 58, 59, boom. So it goes right back around. And that would basically give us exactly what we want. So we'll go to Q, display, HUD, display debug message. And we want to show this, and then we also want to output the message. So if we go into our perspective viewport, we're getting 4722. Now there's one extra thing that we can do, and that's through the concatenate. And in that, we can add a colon to the second one here. We can output to this first one, as we had before, and then this can actually output into that string. And let's go ahead and output set so we can push all of this over. We'll bring down both of these. Try and stay organized. And now we see that we have 47 minutes and 56, 57, 58, 59. And then it goes back and we have the issue with having to deal with the 0. I'm not going to go into it because I've been in it for several things. But what you would do is you basically take an in-range node and then you calculate between 0 and 9 and 10 and 59. And then we use logic gates to concatenate a 0 to the string so it has 0, 1, 0, 2. And in theory, that's how it's done. But to keep the video short, I recommend you look at the world clock or you actually look at the real-time clock videos to understand exactly how you would go through that process.